Major Achievements in the Modern Ages. Presentation by Group E. The modern age is a period in human history which spans from the 20th century, beginning with the period after the end of the First World War and ending with the advent of the digital revolution. In the past 200 years, the world has been transformed by a succession of innovative new machines, inventions, and gadgets. Great modern inventions include electric motor, telephones, computers, plastic, and aeroplanes.
Good day! So the major achievement that I chose is very familiar to us since we are still using it up until today. Do you have any idea? Well, it is the telephone. I have here an illustration or a drawing of a telephone invented by Alexander Graham Bell in the year 1876. I know that the telephone that we are using now is the modern version and has more features compared to the telephone that I am holding. But it is important to know and to have a grasp of knowledge as to how did we ended up having a telephone in our houses. Are you excited? And now I am going to discuss as to how it works and what pushed Alexander Graham Bell to invent the telephone.
What pushed Alexander Graham Bell to invent the telephone?
Sound and speech were part of Bell's life from young age. Both of his father and grandfather are well-known teachers of elocution and speech training. Encouraged by his father, Bell got the idea of creating a working models of ears and vocal cords, aiming to create a mechanical speech device.
How does it work?
This invention of Graham Bell converts sound waves into a fluctuating electric current, and that current will be reconverted into sound waves that are identical to the other end of the circuit. And yes, that is how the telephone was invented. By hard work, knowledge, and perseverance, the first intelligible telephone was made on March 10, 1876, and it is now one of the most useful communication tools used by many. And that is the end of my discussion. I hope that you learned something, and goodbye.
Another great invention or major achievement in the modern ages is the computer. This is an example of a computer. It is commonly known as a desktop computer. Another example is this. This is an illustration of a laptop. Most of us are already familiar with what a computer is. To define further, a computer is a device for processing, storing, and displaying data or information. The first computers were used primarily for numerical calculations. That is what pushed through into the making or invention of computers. That is, Charles Babbage, a mathematician, inventor, and mechanical engineer, has originated the concept of a digital programmable computer. He is considered as the father of computer as he was credited in inventing the first mechanical computer in 1822, which is the difference engine. This is an illustration of a difference engine. However, Charles Babbage's analytical engine is often seen as the forerunner of the modern computer, which is basically described as the successor of his difference engine. This is an illustration of the analytical engine. The analytical engine was to be a general-purpose, fully program-controlled, automatic mechanical digital computer. It would be able to perform any calculation set before it. Undoubtedly, it is the most influential machine in existence in today's modern computer. From these early experimental machines, we saw the development of later electronic versions. As any information can be numerically encoded, people soon realized that computers are capable of general-purpose information processing. Thus, the electronic computer wasn't really developed until after the 1940s.
Back in the days, people used different tools for navigation. Columbus used celestial navigation, which is basically moon, sun, and stars. But not until in the 1973 where the Global Positioning System, or GPS, was invented. So this is the picture that I draw, and this is the very common GPS that we usually see because it is inside our smartphones, laptops, tablets, and I think this kind of GPS are easy to recognize. To elaborate more, it was developed for the US military to know the precise location of a person or a thing. But there is a major dispute over who really invented GPS. So the following people that I will be mentioning are the key figures behind the invention of GPS. Roger L. Easton. He was the brain behind the several engineering applications and technologies that enable the development of GPS. Ivan Gepping. He is the one who designed GPS and its operational value, planning, negotiation, and reaching agreements with all the system's stakeholders for the GPS to become a reality. Third is Bradford Parkinson. He is the first manager of the program and has been the chief architect throughout the system's conception, engineering development, and also earned the title of Father of GPS. And lastly, the most recent one, Dr. Gladys West. She programmed the IBM 7030 stretch computer to deliver calculations for an extremely accurate geodetic Earth model optimized that became the GPS's orbit. GPS has become such an indispensable part of modern life that we're almost dependent on it. It is slowly and steadily crept into cars, ships, airplanes, cameras, construction equipments, agricultural machineries, laptops, and of course, smartphones.
The electric telegraph is an outdated communication system that transmitted electric signals over wires from location to location and then translated it into message. This action sent the electric signal across a wire to a receiver at the other end. The electrical telegraph was a point-to-point text messaging system used from the 1840s until better systems became widespread. Use coded pulses of electric current from dedicated wires to transmit information over long distances. It was the first electrical telecommunication system, the most widely used of a number of early messaging systems called telegraph. This system allowed for communication to occur without the necessity of physical transportation.
So, that's it! These achievements activates a variety of benefits to the society. It makes our lives more easier. We hope that people can discover more achievements in the modern age such as telephone, computer,
X-ray, GPS, and lastly, electric telegraph. Never give up because great things take time. Just like in the old times, it took until modern age that science gave an effect to the society.